again, friends, and welcome back to my channel. My name's Amy, and I'm glad you decided to join me for another chapter of the book I wrote, Legends Orbs of the Elements. Like all the other videos I have made, if you are interested in purchasing this book for yourself, I will tell you all the details after this video. So let's just jump right back into the adventure with chapter 14. That same evening, chapter 14. That same evening, Prince Nero went to visit an old friend of his. He proceeded to go into a room and shut the door. He began to chant. The room seemed to be spinning fast and faster until it went until a glowing white light surrounded him. Prince Nero opened his eyes. He had transported himself into the home of June of the Western Plains. It had been several weeks since Blinken and Riva had been there. The house was empty. He moved to the window and looked out. There, by the grave, was June, sitting on her knees. He silently came up behind her. Nero was very young when he had fallen in love with her. "Why are you sad?" he asked in a gentle, almost cooing voice. She turned in surprise and her face grew pale. "Nero, go away. I have nothing you would want," she said in a voice that sounded like she was trying to be brave. She now stood up and walked past him toward the house. Now he appeared to be hurt by her harsh words. "You are wrong. You do have something I want, but I have something you might want to know," he said mysteriously. She turned and looked at him hard with hurt and grief in her eyes. "What possible knowledge do you think I might want to know?" she almost barked out. The coldness of her voice did not discourage him. Nero moved a bit closer to her, but still gave her plenty of her own space. "I know where your husband is," he said in a casual tone, as if they were discussing the weather. Her mouth hung open for a minute. "You lie. You probably killed him," she replied bitterly. Nero shook his head and put a hand to his chest. "June, my sweet June, why would I lie to you? If you don't believe me, I can take you to him and see for yourself." June knew him well enough to know if he was bluffing, and he was not bluffing. She came close to him. "Yes, I do want to see him myself," she answered. Prince Nero smiled at hearing the happy news. "As you wish. Now hold on tight to me," he instructed. June came closer and did like Nero had told her to do. He again closed his eyes and began to chant. In a flash, they were back in the same room Nero had entered to get to June's house. "It's all right, June. Open your eyes. We have arrived." Cautiously, she did. They were in a plain, empty room with old yellow drapes. Prince Nero walked to the door and opened it. "I'll take you to your husband." She followed right behind Nero. Like her husband, she marveled at the beauty and elegance of the decorations and tapestries that lined the walls as they passed by. The two went deep underground. "Ah, here we are," the prince said, and opened the door. They both entered. There was now a single torch burning in the slot on the wall. John stood up against the wall because his hands were manacled there. Prince Nero came over to him. "Johnny boy, I have a visitor." The prisoner was instantly alert. I hate you. You can burn in the after. He stopped shouting and saw his wife standing in the torchlight. To John, She looked as beautiful as when he first had saw her all those years ago. June, what are you doing here? He asked, his eyes filling with tears. June came forward so she was close to his face. Nero backed away. He politely spoke. Take your time. I must see to other affairs. When you're ready to leave, pound the door. He was halfway out the door when June trotted up to him. Thank you. He said nothing, but smiled a short smile. The next day brought light rain. Rifa, after a long, engaging night, came up the stairs of the fortress. Her hair was messed up, and her dress looked like it was wrinkled and thrown on. Nero smiled at her when he was strolling down the hall. He paused and asked, Did you enjoy last night? She replied, Surprisingly, yes, my lord. Everything is in order. Nero nodded. Tell me about his training. Rifa bowed her head and walked on, knowing she wasn't needed at this time. My lord, he is coming along. He's a bit stubborn, but I find if you put something valuable just out of range, they eventually submit. Nero rubbed his chin, his blue eyes moving back and forth in thought. Thank you, Captain. That will be all. The uniformed man bowed and left the prince's presence. Nero wondered if he could get John to do what he wanted without being forced. He headed down to see John. When he arrived, Blinken was there too, and opening the door. My lord, he said in a low, respectful voice. The wizard let Nero enter first. There he saw June lying on the floor in her clothes from the day before, next to her husband. This sight did not shock him. He'd assumed that once he brought June here, she wouldn't want to leave John. He gently shook her awake. June slowly opened her eyes. John still slept. She gently woke him up. John, get up. He smiled at her. He was suddenly distracted by the other two. What do you, scum of the earth, from the bowels of the afterlife, want? Nero gave the wizard a secret look. Blinken, get this man fresh fruit, a loaf of bread, and a wedge of cheese. The wizard bowed and replied swiftly, Yes, my lord. Oh, excuse me. He left instantly. When the wizard was gone, Nero spoke again. It is time for you to leave, June. Prince, would you permit me to stay? John struggled against his restraints. No, June, let him take you home. You will be safe there. Your husband is right, of course. There are far too many dangers here, Nero said. June was about to speak again when Blinken came in with a tray of fresh food for John. Nero put a hand on June's back and began to gently usher her out of the door. Blinken, let him eat, Nero said, as he shut the prison door. June had a few things on her mind. My lord, why is my husband imprisoned? Nero looked at her. June, your husband has committed a crime. I gave him a choice. Either own up to it and have a quick punishment, or be imprisoned here until he confesses. His crimes are too horrible to tell you, I'm afraid, he explained, his voice dripping with mock sympathy. June was quiet. You must be mistaken. Is it about the legend? She asked timidly. He now looked at her and silently nodded. What do you know about them? He asked, with mild curiosity. June glanced away. Nothing, really. But if I tell you, may I tend to my husband? She inquired. Nero thought about this. An idea came to him. I tell you what, allow me more time with John. If in 3 days' time I don't get what I want out of him, I will personally bring him back to you unharmed, Nero said cunningly. June, without thinking, agreed. Rifa was walking by now, refreshed, when Nero signaled to her to come to him. Rifa, take June home. Rifa also had combed her hair. She nodded obediently. Then Nero left them and went back to the prisoner. John, my good fellow, your wife has a wonderful heart. Before you start your training again with Blinken, I want to ask you to do something for me. If you do, I will release you, and you can go back home. John glared at his captor with hatred in his eyes. He barked out his reply. No! Just listen. I know there is an orb hidden somewhere in the Western Plains. All I need you to do is let me know when that son of yours comes to get it. I am not interested in him. It's the legend I want, and she has brought you nothing but trouble. John didn't answer as Nero spoke. Nero shrugged, seeing as he wouldn't get an answer. The prince turned his back to John and was leaving, but before he left, he said, think about it. When you have continuous pain and begging for death, you will do what I ask. With a wave of his hand, Nero disappeared. So that is all the chapter for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a big like, subscribe, share with friends and family. I just love how I am making twists and turns in this story, and I hope you are enjoying that as well. If you like this story and want to read it on your own or along with me, it can be found on Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, Apple iBooks, and lots of other places books are sold. Also, if you are interested in this world that I have created, I have a Facebook page where I try to write Monday through Friday an article about different aspects of my story. One topic is about how I created the territories that are featured in my book. Another topic I wrote about is the three main villains in the story, so Prince Nero, Queen Rifa, and Wizard Blinken. I write how I created them and some of their motivations behind why they think and do certain things. Another article I wrote is about how I came up with the name of Leon and Castilla. So if you are interested in learning more about the Legends world and the 4 territories, I would highly suggest you go check it out. There's lots of fun things. I try to keep it as spoiler-free as I can, so that way if you haven't read this book all throughout, or you are listening to it and want to see what happens next, you guys will not be disappointed or nothing will get spoiled for you. I cannot wait to see you guys tomorrow for another exciting chapter. I will be should be coming up with my November book chat video. It's going to be a good one, so stay tuned for that. I will also be doing another fun November-y video about closer to my birthday, because it's my birthday month. Yay! My birthday is the 24th of this month, so I'm so looking forward to that. There's also Thanksgiving, which I'm a big fan of. If you don't know me or are new to my channel, I am one of those people that, in a way, is a traditionalist, as I love to enjoy everything November entails. And Thanksgiving, I don't like to think about Christmas until after Thanksgiving is over. That's just my personal preference. I feel that sometimes Thanksgiving is overshadowed by Christmas, and that makes me sad, because November is a big month because it is my birthday month, and I'm like, hey, people in November have birthdays too, and Thanksgiving is a big part of that. I have nothing against people that start to celebrate Christmas or get excited about Christmas in November. The decorations for Christmas are already out anyway, but that's just me. I just like to enjoy each month holiday as that it incorporates. So I'm very, very Thanksgiving in November and all the fun things that it includes. Sorry, I didn't mean to rant, but that's just how I feel about it. So it's so hard to still be in the fall November spirit, but I try to stay away from stores that have all the Christmas decorations out and whatnot. It's so hard not to do that because it's everywhere. But anywho, didn't mean to go down that rabbit trail. Sorry. Thank you guys, like I said, so much for liking and subscribing. If you are new to my channel, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so glad you are here. I am trying to get to 200 subscribers. I am going to be doing a big, big giveaway. Once I reach 200, I believe I'm currently at 150 right now. So, to all my subscribers that are already subscribed, thank you truly so much. It means so much to me that you subscribe, you like, you comment. I truly, truly like connecting with you and making fun videos, entertaining videos. It just means the world to me. I will also be doing a Christmas giveaway. I know it's only the start of November, so but as Thanksgiving comes to an end, I will be talking about that. So definitely stay tuned for that. Again, I'll be leaving all the juicy details for all that stuff later on in the videos. So as they say in my book, until next time, may the elements protect you. Bye-bye for now.